Forget everything you think you know about the Netherlands. This 4K adventure explodes with vibrant flower fields, iconic windmills, and dreamy canals. Get ready for a Dutch delight that'll leave you saying, wow. All right, guys, we've landed in Amsterdam, and let me tell you, this city is buzzing. First things first, we hopped on a canal boat tour. Cruising through the canals, you see these incredible houses, all leaning in different directions. No trip to Amsterdam is complete without a visit to the Anne Frank house, and the Van Gogh Museum is mind-blowing. The Jordaan district is this cool, artsy neighborhood with vintage shops and tiny cafes. Okay, get ready for this. We're talking millions, and I mean millions of tulips in every color you can imagine. Welcome to Keukenhof Gardens, people, also known as the Garden of Europe. This place is straight out of a fairy tale, seriously. Imagine walking through fields of vibrant red, yellow, pink, purple tulips, stretching as far as the eye can see. It's like walking through a living, breathing rainbow. The air is thick with the sweet scent of flowers, and everywhere you look there's another picture-perfect scene. We're talking rows upon rows of perfectly manicured gardens, with intricate designs and whimsical sculptures. There are even these hidden pathways that lead you through secret gardens and surprise displays. It's like a choose-your-own adventure for flower lovers. And it's not just tulips, people. We're talking daffodils, hyacinths, and all sorts of other spring blooms. If you're looking for a dose of pure joy and beauty, Keukenhof Gardens is the place to be. But be warned, you might just peek here because it doesn't get much more beautiful than this. Next stop, Kinderdijk, home to 19 of the most iconic windmills in the Netherlands. And let me tell you, these aren't your average tourist trap windmills. These bad boys are UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and they've been standing strong for centuries, keeping the Dutch countryside dry. We're talking massive wooden structures, with sails that stretch wide across the sky. You can actually go inside some of them and see how they work. The gears, the grinding stones, the whole shebang. It's like stepping back in time, and you really get a sense of the ingenuity and engineering prowess of the Dutch people. Now, Kinderdijk isn't just about the windmills. The whole area is crisscrossed by canals and dikes, with picturesque villages dotting the landscape. We rented bikes and spent the afternoon pedaling along the water, soaking up the scenery and enjoying the peace and quiet. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like the feeling of the wind in your hair, the sun on your face, and the sound of nothing but bird song and the gentle whirring of windmill sails. It's the kind of experience that stays with you long after you've left. All right, folks, we've arrived in The Hague, the political heart of the Netherlands. Now don't let that fool you into thinking it's all stuffy suits and boring buildings. The Hague is a city with a serious international vibe, thanks in part to the International Court of Justice being located here. But The Hague is also a city steeped in history, and nowhere is that more evident than at the Binnenhof, the Dutch Parliament building. This place is ancient, dating back to the 13th century, and it's seen its fair share of drama over the years. We're talking kings and queens, wars and treaties, the whole 9 yards. For a dose of art and culture, we hit up the Mauritshuis Museum, which houses some absolute masterpieces by Dutch masters like Vermeer and Rembrandt. Seeing Girl with a Pearl Earring in person was a real pinch-me moment. And of course, no trip to The Hague would be complete without a visit to the Peace Palace, home to the International Court of Justice. It's a symbol of hope and peace in a world that often feels anything but. Get ready to be transported to a fairy tale, people, because Giethoorn is like nowhere else on earth. This village is known as the Venice of the North, and for good reason. There are no cars allowed. That's right, the only way to get around is by foot, bike, or boat. We opted for a boat tour naturally, and let me tell you, it was pure magic. Imagine gliding silently through canals, lined with charming thatched roof houses, each one with its own perfectly manicured garden. The air is filled with the sound of birdsong and the gentle lapping of water against wood. It's like stepping back in time to a simpler, more peaceful way of life. We even saw people using their boats to do their grocery shopping. Talk about convenience. Giethoorn is the perfect place to escape the hustle and bustle of city life and just reconnect with nature. It's a place where you can slow down, breathe deep, and just appreciate the simple things in life. Hold on to your hats, architecture buffs, because Rotterdam is about to blow your mind. This city is a testament to innovation and modern design, with buildings that look like they're straight out of a sci-fi movie. First up, the Erasmus Bridge, aka the Swan. This cable-stayed bridge is an iconic landmark, and for good reason. It's massive, elegant, and just plain cool. Then there are the cube houses, a series of tilted yellow cubes that look like they're about to topple over. Don't worry, they're perfectly safe and surprisingly spacious inside. But Rotterdam's not all about wacky buildings. The city has a gritty, industrial charm, thanks to its history as a major port. We spent an afternoon exploring the harbour area, checking out the massive cargo ships and soaking up the bustling atmosphere. And for a taste of local life, we headed to the Marktthal, a covered market housed in a giant arch-shaped building. Inside, you'll find stalls selling everything from fresh produce and seafood to spices, cheese, and Dutch stroopwafels. It's a feast for the senses. All right, folks, get ready to step back in time because we're heading to Zaanse Schans, an open-air museum that's like a living, breathing Dutch painting. We're talking historic windmills, wooden houses painted in traditional green and white, and workshops where artisans still practice traditional crafts. We started our visit by exploring the windmills, of course. There are several different types here, each with its own unique purpose, from sawing wood to grinding spices. We even got to see a demonstration of how they make paint using wind power. Next, we wandered through the village, peeking into the workshops and chatting with the friendly locals. We saw clog makers carving shoes from blocks of wood, cheesemakers churning up giant wheels of Gouda, and bakers pulling fresh stroopwafels out of the oven. It was like stepping back in time, in the best possible way. Zaanse Schans is a reminder of the Netherlands' rich history and traditions, and it's a great place to learn about the country's cultural heritage. Plus, it's just plain beautiful, with its picturesque canals, charming houses, and those iconic windmills silhouetted against the sky. Last but not least, we're wrapping up our Dutch adventure in Utrecht, a city that's often overlooked but seriously deserves a spot on your travel bucket list. Utrecht has this cool, laid-back vibe, thanks in part to its large student population. But don't let that fool you into thinking it's all parties and cheap beer. Utrecht is a city steeped in history, with a beautiful medieval centre that's crisscrossed by canals lined with cafes and restaurants. We spent an afternoon just wandering along the water, stopping for coffee and stroopwafels whenever the mood struck. And speaking of history, Utrecht is home to the Dom Tower, a 14th century church tower that dominates the city skyline. We climbed all the way to the top, and let me tell you, the views are insane. You can see the entire city spread out before you, with its canals, churches, and red-roofed houses. Utrecht is a city that has it all: history, culture, nightlife, and a relaxed, friendly atmosphere. And there you have it, folks, the Netherlands in all its glory. From the canals of Amsterdam to the windmills of Kinderdijk, from the tulip fields of Keukenhof to the charming villages of Giethoorn, this country has it all. I hope this video has inspired you to add the Netherlands to your travel bucket list. And if you've already been, let me know in the comments below what your favorite place is. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more travel adventures. Until next time, Tot Ziens!